Hey guys, welcome back. Today is a DIY, but in Photoshop. This is going to be a Photoshop tutorial on how to apply textures to backgrounds and to people to create some cool effects. So let's go check it out. All right, let's talk about backgrounds. Backgrounds, look at where you're sitting right now. Look at the floor, look at the walls, look at the ceiling, look at the curtains, look at that piece of wood. There is background material all around you, right where you're sitting. Plus the whole wide world, brick walls, trees, bark, cracks in cement, old rusty scratched up pans and pots. Doesn't matter, it's all background material that you can shoot to create a catalog and a library of background resources that you can use in your images. So I just spend time when I'm out and about and I see something that's cool, I take it as a background and just simply add it into my library. So have a look at where you are right now and look at the possibilities for textures. Unlimited. So check that out. Now let's jump into Photoshop. I've already preloaded the images and let's get into the tutorial right now. All right, I brought all the files, as you can see over here on the right hand side. I brought them all into Photoshop, so we're good to go here. I've got the picture of a model here that we're going to apply a texture to the background, so you can have a look at that. I will show you how you can apply a texture onto skin, which is pretty cool too. So I brought a couple of different ones in here. I have this background and I have this texture background. We're going to start with this one. Now, what I tend to do is make sure you click on the background that you want, click on the blend mode, and you can see all the different modes there are available here. If you hold down Control, now I'm on a PC, not an Apple, so I'm on a PC, hold down Control and then use the down arrow, it will change the blend mode each time you click the down arrow. What you do is you find one that you like the best. I typically go with either a soft light or a hard light. So you can see that looks pretty good right there. Now this one here, I will go back to normal for a sec. You can see it has some color to it. If you don't want color on your background, you just want a texture like a black, then simply convert this to a black. And you can basically come in here and come into adjustments and you can desaturate, or you can just click black and white and it'll switch it. I like the color version on this. That's why I'm leaving it that way. Now, we need to get this texture off of her. So the best way to do it is come down here on the right, click your layer mask, make sure you've clicked on the mask itself, and then select your brush. And as you can see here, black will wipe out the information and white will reveal it. So black conceal, white reveal. Now I need to take it off of her, and I'm just doing this quickly. I'm not taking care of the fine detail on the edging. I just want to give you the basic information on how to do this, because I tend to pixel peep and I zoom way in and I make sure that it's as close to perfection as I can get. But for this purpose, I'm just going to do a rough copy here of getting this off of her to show you how that is. So that's basically got it off of her, and you can see it's on the background. Now if you don't want it that dark, come up to the opacity on that layer and simply adjust the opacity down to where you like the texture. Okay, I like it actually pretty much as it is. Now as you can see down here, there's some trim on the wall. We can remove that background off of that as well. And as I say, I am not doing this accurately whatsoever. I would typically be really zoomed in to do this. I'm just showing you how to do it and let you deal with the fine details. So that's taken the texture off of the trim work on the wall, and you can see that looks pretty cool right there as it is. If you find that the background is too sharp, then you can come in here, and if I'm happy with that, you basically need to come in and you need to apply your layer mask. So if you right click on the layer mask, not beside it like I was just doing, so apply the mask so it's all in one. I can come in here, filter, gush and blur, and see, I can tone that down. Now I would advise, that looks pretty good right there, I would advise blurring the background before you start erasing it off the subject. The reason being, when you blur, it's going to start creeping back onto your subject all along the edge. So be aware of that. Now the other background I have here is this one, which looks pretty cool. So I click on this one and let's try soft light. That looks good. Now we're going to give it that blur again. So come up, filter, blur, Gaussian blur or Gaussian blur, whichever way you like to call it. And that looks pretty good for me for being out of focus on it. Now again, create your layer mask, so you're down in the bottom, click on the layer, click on your brush, and you're going to want to increase the size of your brush a bit and go all over your model, making sure that you take care of detail of the hair and get all this off. So you've left her nice and clean. Now again, on this trim work on the wood, I need to take it off of there. So let me just get rid of all that. As I say, I am just doing this roughly. I am usually zoomed way in, taking care of all the fine detail. So you can see the difference between the two backgrounds and how it kind of changes the look of it. I really like this one here. Now let's decrease the opacity on this one. That looks not bad. Now I can take the other layer off because I'm running with both layers on right now. So this is just this one up here. Right? So you can change this to however you want. I like this a little lower and then turn, so I'm at 37% opacity on the top one, and on the bottom one here I'm at 100. I kind of like that. I might drop this one down just a touch, but I like the look of that. What do you guys think? You know, just let me know in the comments down below what you think of this. But that's all there is to applying textures to a photo. It's really that simple. It's kind of like when I had done the levitation video, where you're using the layer mask and you're simply wiping off information you don't want. That's in essence what you're doing here. Now, ideally, when you're coming in here to the hair area, you want to make sure that you pay attention to that and that you're getting all the texture off of it. Now, for your backgrounds though, you can go and shoot brick walls, wood tables, cardboard texture, curtain fabric textures, it doesn't matter. Go out and shoot tons of different textures, cookie sheets that are all rusty and scratched all up and everything. Works great, as you saw on here. So that's all there is to that. You simply get the photo you want and add your texture, add your layer mask, and remove it from the areas you don't want. Now, if you want to add texture to a person, to their skin, let's have a look at this image I've got here of this model from a witch shoot that I did. Now I want to add some texture to her skin. So I've already brought in some cracked asphalt concrete, and again you simply select your blend mode of what you want. And I'm going to go with a soft light. We create a layer mask because we need to get all this off the areas that I don't want texture. So we're just going to simply erase all this off. Again, I am not being super accurate with this. I am just trying to get the bulk of this off to make it look right. And this gives you a rough idea of how this is done. So this is the soft light. This is the overlay. Again, you can come through with all your different blend modes. Again, I'm on a PC, so control and then my down arrow. and you can find whichever version of this you like the best. And the overlay looks pretty good to me. Now I do want to decrease the opacity. So again, you're just going to come in here and start playing with the opacity until you get that look that you like. I'm kind of liking that there. Now I do want to come in here though, because I don't want the texture over her eyes. So I need to clean her eyes back out, and I want to change off the lips. But that shows you how you can apply a texture to a person. If you find you got a nice wrinkly texture, if you can find, unfortunately, a senior that's got really, really wrinkly skin, if you can get a picture of that wrinkled skin texture, then you can apply it onto here, and I could really age her up and make her look like a real old hag. As it is here, I've just used a concrete. This is more like a broken doll type look. I just wanted to show you how this does work. Now, if you're applying the texture onto the face though, obviously I would need the texture down here on the top of her chest area and on her hands and arms, so it all looked right. It looks kind of weird that she's got nice young skin here, but she's old and haggard up here. I just wanted to show you how to apply it to a person as well as onto a background. And it's the exact same principle. You just have to select what kind of blend mode works best for you. I'm just going through a few here. There's hard light. You can see how different that one is. And then your soft light and your hard light. Those tend to be the two main ones that I use in applying backgrounds. And I can add wallpaper to a background by doing the same technique. Okay, so that's all there is to adding textures onto skin. It's that simple, and you can see it looks pretty cool. Give it a little bit of a zoom in there, and you can see that's pretty cool. Now on the other one here, I really like the way that's fancied the wall up, and again, you can play with how strong you want that background to show through on that wall. You can tone this right down, you can blur it out more so your lines aren't quite as defined. There's more of a subtle look to it. So that's it, guys. That's basically all there is to applying textures in Photoshop. Okay, like I said, that's how easy it is to apply textures in Photoshop to a person or to a background. Just remember, there is texture material all around you. You just need to keep your eye open for it. I'd love to know what you guys thought about it. I really enjoyed that witch one. I thought that was pretty cool. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Okay, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're aware of when I post new videos. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. So, until the next time.